So people want to know what's wrong with the Democratic Party, and I don't know, remember this? This was a tweet from last summer. Today at the DNC platform hearing, the committee voted for the TPP, against a fracking ban, against a $15 minimum wage, and against a carbon tax. So if you want to know, you can
No, but that worked out.
Yeah, it really get fired up the base, and the Democrats won.
Because that's all you heard. That's all you heard from Democrats was, we want more fracking! Like everyone was out on the streets, frack, frack, frack. And they did it for us.
Yeah, I love that. What the Democrats did when they lost to Donald Trump, it really shook them up. I mean, the political Democrats, the ones in power, they immediately snapped into action, and they elected Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi as their leaders.
Yep.
And then the rest of them, during the Women's March, the rest of them went to Florida to meet with fucking David Brock and all his asshole friends. So they really got the message. I think they know what they're doing. We need a fucking third party in this goddamn country, right? So then this group called Our Political Revolution tweeted this out. Says, not usually the types that throw around blame, but if you didn't vote for Clinton because of her emails, today is partly your fault. Wow. Well, here's what Li Feng said. Li Feng said, Dems putting forward an absurdly corrupt status quo politician deeply hated by most of the country seems even more foolish in retrospect.
To which we burners say, fucking duh.
It's like the Democrats, if they were a football team and they lost, they wouldn't blame the players or the coaches. They'd blame the fans for not cheering loud enough.
Where were you?
Yeah.
We had the ball and you guys were quiet.
I love how they call themselves political revolution. What fucking revolution isn't political? It's like redundant, am I right?
Jimmy, the water is coming up, and
yes.
You get the point, right?
Yeah, I get
But
it.
her email, have you heard about her fucking BlackBerry that she wouldn't turn off in the State Department, and they had to leave meetings because they kept saying, turn off your fucking BlackBerry, you can't have a BlackBerry, because it could have, when you were in China, they could have fucking gotten in there, and she kept bringing it in, and they would stop meetings, because she's out of her fucking mind.
Yeah.
It's not even the fucking emails, it's the goddamn BlackBerry that's the goddamn fucking problem. She's walking around with a fucking BlackBerry, now everyone's like, Trump's on his Android. Yeah, that's what you assholes do! I'm okay.
Let me say this, Dave. If you didn't vote for Hillary because of her emails, you probably are a loser, because there are so many other good reasons to not vote for her. We're not usually the type to throw around blame, but here's who we want to blame. Remember the grassroots movement that brought about a ton of political change because they were passive-aggressive in what they stood for? Me neither. It's a long joke. I ran out of air. Okay, so that's Li Feng. Look, here's what David Sirota says. He says, if you blame Trump's rise on Susan Sarandon, not bigotry or establishment corporatism or DC elitism or the Dem neoliberalism, then you should seek help. So the DNC got together to have a little talk, the people who want to be the head of the DNC, and here's the first jagoff. They're trying to figure out what the problem is.
A false choice is being laid at our feet. That there's a portrayal of this competition for chair as though it were a choice, as though it were a choice between one wing of the party and another, as though it would be a defeat for some Democrats and a victory for others. That presentation is unfair to the candidates who are here. We need to transcend that, get past that, and be united.
Yeah, the reason why you have an election is so someone wins and someone loses. There's going to be a loser.
What?
That guy's definitely swipe left.
Yeah.
I think he's a terrific robot.
Yes.
Can I get him at Hammaker Schlemmer?
Can we just unite behind the stuff that we've been saying?
The idea that there's going to be a loser or a winner in this election, I don't see how that happens. Everyone wins. We're going to have ranked choice voting in the DNC that everyone wins, so that we're all going to be. Doesn't everyone win? Everyone win?
Yeah.
The fuck is this? It's such mealy-mouthed, typical bullshit. Yes, someone is going to win. And you know who's going to win in the DNC election? The fucking corporations are going to win. That's who's going to win.
This guy right here.
So here they are trying to figure out what's wrong. Here she is trying to figure out what's wrong with the Democratic Party.
The biggest mistake that the DNC made, not just in the 2016 election, but in all of the elections that I can think of before that, is not having an overarching identity message that as Democrats we can be proud to stand under. I've been doing work in Idaho, and one of the things that's killing us is the brand that Democrats have, and unfortunately that brand got even more damaged this year.
The biggest mistake that the DNC made, I agree with Sally. The problems that we had.
So this guy, by the way, that's not the problem with the DNC. You know what the problem with the DNC is? That is the problem with the DNC. You know what the problem with the DNC is? That is the problem with the DNC.
I was gonna say it's that they
fuck Cory
they
Booker.
care too much about people. Is that not?
You want to know what's wrong with the DNC? Because they don't understand what's happening in the country. They don't understand that we have the richest country the face of the earth has ever seen, but yet half of the people in it are rendered poor. That's called a failed system. You don't hear Democrats talking about how our system is failing and we need to fix the system. Bernie Sanders said we needed a revolution. Why? Because we need a fucking revolution.
Jimmy, I don't know how many times I got to tell you there is no money in empathy.
So here's what's going on in the country that the Democrats don't even understand. Corporate America doesn't even understand what's wrong with this. So here's a Lyft driver. They gave her the Golden Fist Bump Award. Her name is Mary from Chicago. Shout out to all the impressive Lyft parents out there, like Mary, a longtime Lyft driver who was still on the road at 9 months pregnant.
Oh my God.
When contractions persisted, she headed to the hospital, but not before accepting one last request.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, she's a worker!
The next morning, baby Maven Mia joined the Lyft family.
And doesn't have maternity care, so they're living in poverty.
Yes. Yes.
Trump-
Yeah. At least the small talk wasn't difficult during the drive to the hospital. Am I right?
You know, I think if we have our way, not only will we bring more jobs, but every person will have 4 or 5 jobs.
So how many times do you think they asked her to smile?
Right? So celebrating that this woman has to work like that while she's delivering a baby and celebrating that's like celebrating somebody who lives in the Sudan and has to walk 10 miles with a barrel on their head to get fucking water. Isn't that great? She walks 10 miles to get a fucking barrel of water. Isn't that fucking great?
And if Pence gets his way, ladies, we all get to do it like 10 or 12 times.
So that's what's wrong with the DNC. It's not that their brand or their message is overarching and the people in Idaho. It's none of that shit. It's that you motherfuckers are in bed with the people you're supposed to be fighting against. And so now you're fighting against the people you're supposed to be representing. You can't represent Wall Street and workers. They are diametrically opposed. You can't be in bed with Wall Street and workers. And why is Chuck Schumer the leader? Because he gets the most money from Wall Street and he gives it to his friends. And that's why the Democrats are dead. Here, even what's wrong with the DNC? I don't know if you guys remember, but somebody had to resign in shame. Her name was Debbie Wasserman Schultz. And listen how it gets framed. Listen how it gets framed on CNN. Why she had to resign. Listen to this.
He said that Trump is not a legitimate president because he says the Russians participated in helping Trump get elected. And look, they didn't just help Trump. Their hacking of the DNC cost you your job as chair of the DNC.
No, what cost her job was that she was cheating the progressive in the race in favor of the corporatist warmonger. That's what cost her job. That's Aaron Burnett.
And we've all got Orange Joffrey now because of it.
All you have to say about these people, and this is the only argument you have to make, you just say, these people, she was fighting for payday lenders who it's a legalized extortion racket that destroys lives. That alone makes this party completely pointless.
I couldn't agree more. And you know how and the people, because that's not just bad. They're preying on the most vulnerable people in our society. That's how they want to make a buck, and she's going to stick up for them with the power of government. You're absolutely right. So people are sick of Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and during the Democratic National Convention, she went to speak to the Florida congregation. I don't know if that's what they call them. What do they call them? The Florida
Delegation.
Contingency, delegation, whatever.
She has her own church now.
And do you remember? Do you remember how they greeted her? I don't know if you remember how they greeted her.
All right, everybody now, settle down. Everybody settle down, please.
Okay. All right, we have a big program. We have a big program today. Let's hear. Let's be respectful. Please be quiet so Debbie can speak. It's okay. Everybody, let's hear from our speakers. We have other speakers as well.
Thank you all so much.
People, you know,
Guys, it was an alternative fact.
yeah.
That scroll was alternative fact land.
In fact,
You know, you can go ahead and kick Debbie to the curb, but who are you going to find to make sure that there's never an even-handed discussion of Israel?
Oh, everybody.
Oh, that's true.
so that's what's wrong with the DNC. That's what's wrong. Oh, you know how CNN reported that they were cheering for her. That's how they reported, if you like alternative facts. So here is some more at the DNC, and they asked these people who want to be the chair if they put their thumb on the scale, if Debbie Wasserman Schultz, what was wrong? And here's lots
Another show of hands question. Who here believes that the DNC did unfairly put its thumb on the scale during the 2016
Somebody.
primary?
Anybody?
That's a gotcha question. I'm not.
Did you? I don't know if you heard that. The woman said that's a gotcha question. She goes, that's a gotcha. You know a straightforward question that can't be spun. That's a gotcha question. At least nobody called it fake news. That's what I would.
Wait, Keith Ellison didn't even?
He did. He went like this.
He went.
He stood up to answer it a different way. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take this one," but he didn't raise his hand.
Well, he knew he was
Keith
going to be
Ellison is a
deported.
warmonger?
You know, it
he's
says
the closest we got that can run that thing.
It says a lot
That's it.
about our country. That when they asked the DNC, hey, is it possible we could have a fair and free and open election, that they plead the fifth? That's literally, what does that say about the DNC? What does that say about, I can't, I'm not, Hey, they just cheated out half the party. I can't say anything. They cheated half your party and the guy who should have been president. I get a tick-a-lock. I can't zip it. That would be impolite, and I don't know if our donors would appreciate if we said shit like that. They deflected that question so fast you'd think it was the fucking public option.
That's a thing where we all have insurance.
Oh.
It's paid for by the government.
That always
with our
makes me
taxes.
laugh.
Okay.
I don't know why you guys think you need universal health care.
You can't
You
even
already
say
have
it.
it.
You can't even say it.
Well, because it's so loathsome to me. It catches right up here, but you already have it. It's called GoFundMe.
Oh, I thought you were going to swear. So guess what? They asked Debbie Wasserman Schultz this question.
Do you think that Bernie could have won in hindsight?
I think that we need to move forward and focus on the future and make sure we can build on all the progress.
No, the answer is yes. Yes, in hindsight, Bernie would have won. Yes, that's the answer.
Yes.
But
Is it that hard of a question, Debbie? The answer is fucking yes.
I talked to someone who worked on a staff, and they think we don't know shit and that we're all idiots. They literally think that. All of the Democratic staffers who have no black staffers at fucking all, it's like 0.03%, because they're awesome Democrats. They talk about us like we're fucking morons, and they have no idea that they're living in a castle in a bubble where the 7 richest fucking counties are now around Washington, and they literally talk about us like we're fucking morons. They loathe us.
Yes, that is true, Dave.
You should read what they said about Mexicans.
Which of her
Que
aides?
lastima.
Which of her aides cares for the sadness in her eyes?
I mean, somebody give her a tissue. This lady has a cold.
Well, I love that she says we have to build on the progress that has been made. What kind of upside down world? She lost 1,000 fucking seats. That's not progress. That's called being wiped out. You lost to Don and Tanahan's. You lost.
Lost the whole fucking country is red. We own like fucking 4 state houses and governorships, and we're gonna lose. Connecticut's gone because they've been so fucking corrupt up there that the best Democrat in the world could come out, and they're gonna vote him out. Connecticut is gone. We lost it. Next time they are totally conservative. That state is out. It's gone.
If we'd gotten 6 more seats, we would have had a thing that we like to call in the chamber a hee-haw.
They are very close to being able to change the Constitution.
And by the way, Debbie, Debbie Wasserman Schultz from Florida, you lost Florida for Hillary. Way to go. Nice work.
Couldn't even bring in
Florida. By the way, boo. It's just crazy to me. She's down in Brazil still. She's going to hang out until they get a new one. The Democrats, they rigged their own primary, helped Donald Trump win the Republican primary, blamed Russia for getting caught, blamed voters for low approval rating. That's leadership that sucks.
But I cannot recommend enough just tweeting or putting on Facebook Bernie would have won, because they lose their little minds.
Hey, the next live Jimmy Dore show is February 20th. That's a Monday night in Burbank, California at Flappers Comedy Club. That's February 20th, Monday night. They've been selling out 2 weeks ahead of time, so get your tickets. There's a link for tickets right there. See you February 20th in Burbank, California.